Hi everyone, this is Jerry Opoka and I'm really excited to share this video with you, to finally do the video on mental health and mental health disorders. There's such a good buzz around about mental health. Everyone is sharing videos, everyone is sharing information, and the most beautiful thing is that everyone is resonating with the messages now and calling on people to be kinder, calling on people to be, more aware and things like that. I look at mental health or mental health disorders in a different light, and that's what I want to speak to today. First of all, if there's anybody who's watching this video who is going through a mental health challenge right now, or is caring for a person who's going through it, or knows somebody close to them who is, I would like to send you the brightest light, the deepest love and healing energies to just help you and guide you through this season that you are in. And I ask that you allow me to speak freely about what I'm feeling and what I am seeing and what I'm sensing from this season. Guys, we are in the most beautiful time of our existence. And with that beauty comes the same measure of a seeming darkness. So many people are struggling. So many people are struggling. And in as much as we're speaking more about mental health, we are seeing mental health from the perspective of the disorders. So we are seeing depression, we are seeing bipolar disorder, we are seeing anxiety, we are seeing addiction to substances, and that is where we are basing our knowledge and understanding of mental health from. In fact, every time someone talks about mental health, that is where our minds go, to those disorders. But I just want us to draw our attention, to what these disorders really are. These disorders are a manifestation of the state of being that a person is in at that time. If I'm suffering from depression, that is a manifestation. What you see as the depression, my sadness and my being removed from situations, my just not being the same person that I was. What you are seeing is a physical manifestation of where my mind is. But that is a result of something else. And when we focus so much on this manifestation, which has now become a disorder, we miss the point of where this is coming from. Because in order for us to deal with mental health issues or mental health disorders, or to understand what is going on, we have to go back to where it started from and how it has resulted into this. I see a lot of people speaking about addiction, for example, alcoholism and drug abuse or misuse. I see people talking about depression and anxiety, saying so and so is going through depression and all kinds of things. But why are they depressed? And where did it all start from? Because when we start to see the disorder as a lot more than what is being presented to us, then we start to want to know more. We start to see the person behind disorder. I will take an example of alcoholism. A lot of people will write off a person who's struggling with alcoholism or addiction. Could be drugs, could be anything. But what we forget is that there is a reason that result is now presenting itself. This person started somewhere. Now, the thing with mental unwellness is that it is a state of mind that is invisible to the human eye, because the struggle is happening in the mind. Normally, when in the beginning phases of a mental health disorder or mental unwellness, is the most critical time for us to be aware, both as the sufferer and as the person who is around the sufferer. So it's really for all of us. That is the most critical time for us to act. But also remember, it is the time when it is most invisible. By the time it has become visible, normally it has festered for so long that the layers have piled on, so much so that it's hard for us to even understand what we are going through. It's hard for the people who are around us to understand what is happening. So what are we supposed to do? The stigma that comes with mental health really comes from a place of us thinking and operating in terms of the distant future of an acute disorder. So if I'm going through a situation that is making me sad today, and the sadness is prolonged, and I start to feel like I'm going into a state of depression, what comes into our mind's eye when we start thinking that we are going into depression? We'll think about images of people who are acutely depressed. Maybe they're already in a mental institution. Maybe they are at a stage where they are not functioning anymore. But we are thinking about this at a point when we are still functioning, okay? And because that is the image that is in our minds, we do not want to come out and speak because of all the shame and all the stigma that has been attached to it. But if we come to a place and say why, if we think about the reason for that result, then it gives validation to what we are feeling. When we don't feel that our situation is validated, when we don't feel like it is valid, we don't think that we have the right to make it a real issue. That's why people will say, I want to keep my problems to myself because I do not want to bother other people with my small problem. I feel it's too small, even though it's taking over my life. But if I tell somebody else, I'll be bothering them with something small. They have bigger things to deal with. They have their lives to deal with. And that is exactly the point where we start to go wrong. When you think about, when you turn around and look at that thing that is causing you depression and understand that it is real, it is very, very real to you and to anybody else, then you can, once you give it that validation, then you speak to somebody and that validation comes through in how you present it. When we all understand that any problem that anyone is faced with is valid, even though it is just the fact that I do not like how I look with this lipstick. When I understand that, yes, it is my valid problem, how I communicate to the next person will give it validity also. Because I believe that, yes, I have a problem. And when whoever is receiving this information understands that anybody and everyone's issue is valid at the point that it's being presented, we will give it the attention and the focus that it deserves at that time and help the other person feel like, hey, listen, you're not overacting, you're not crazy, you're not thinking, you're not building a mountain out of a molehill. I want to listen to your issue and let us work through it. Let us talk through it. Let us see, what does it mean? What does it mean to you? What does it mean to me? That right there is the first point of killing stigma. That right there is the first point of allowing people to be seen with their issues. That right there is the first point of saying, I need help with this small issue, because by the time you get into a major mental health disorder, it is so many small things that have not been validated that keep building. It's so many small thoughts or seemingly small thoughts that have been ignored that are going to come up and want to be dealt with. So in this video, I want to say, let us move away from the disorder that we are seeing and go deeper, go back to the reason, the real reason for this state of mind. Where have we come from? What has been building? What have been the thought patterns? What have been the things that have been happening around us? And why have we not spoken about it? For me, mental health and mental unwellness is really about us looking inside and saying, what is happening? What am I thinking? I should be able to process what I am going through at all times, so that we are not lost in a place of sticking to the disorder and forgetting where that is coming from. So this is what I wanted to share. Stay tuned for more videos about how I view this whole conundrum of mental unwellness, mental health disorders, and the general mental health space. Thank you so much.